The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
Good afternoon, traders. Boy, is it just a gorgeous day down here in Florida. Another beautiful Chamber of Commerce day. Everybody in their dog is down here in Florida for the early vacations. One of the things that I heard over the weekend, or actually, I guess it was mid-time last week, was how many more people were coming to Florida because of the problems in Mexico and the warnings by the Secretary of State to not go to Mexico. In fact, they've been very active in the colleges to make sure that they come to Florida or Texas instead of going to Mexico for spring break. So we're packed out. It's actually the numbers already in the first week down here in Florida are surpassing everything back to 1999. So absolutely a huge amount of people, but it's just one of those wonderful days that this seems, so nice and pretty that it's hard to think about having a trouble at all. It's just you look outside and it's gorgeous. The weather's great. Lots of suntanned, nubile bodies on the beach, and it's just one of those days where it's just hard to be down. You've got to feel good. Anyway, it is Monday, March 12th, and today is the Girl Scouts' birthday. March 12th, 1912, they formed the Girl Scouts, and I think at the same time decided to make those wonderful and delicious mint cookies. Those have always been my favorite. I don't know about yours, but always an absolute delight to have those Girl Scout cookies come to the door once a year during their fun drives. On my radar for trading, first thing is some people have been a little bit confused, especially this morning, with the market down. The VIX had gone up, and it was very, I don't know how to say it. It's just very strange to see what would be a normal change in the VIX turn around. The VIX does have a contango just like ETFs, and its contract is rolling over. So just wanted to make sure that everybody did know, because I had a couple of emails. And in fact, if you have a question, you can always email me at path, P-A-T-H, at TFNN.com. and ask your questions. But one of the problems is that VIX does have a contango with contracts, just like a lot of ETFs, and it was moving counter to what everybody thinks it should have been today, and that's just the reason. I think the contract rolls over here either today or tomorrow. I didn't look exactly, but you always got to be watching about two things. One, the contango on the contract rolling over, and two, secondarily, it is the amount of vacation days, because it goes 30 trading days out. So if you have additional vacation days, it will affect the actually 30 calendar days. So if you don't have a day of trading, it will it actually moves the VIX level at least a few points. So you have to look at it. It would normally be, I think the VIX should have normally gone in the low 15s. I think it was in the 16s this morning. I haven't looked at it lately. Normally I just worry about it by the end of the day. But it is something to watch out. The other thing is we did have daylight savings time. I don't think we actually saved any daylight. It's the same amount it would be the day before. It's just shifting the day. It should be shifting daylight saving time, because all we're doing is shifting the time. There is no saving of additional daylight, just a little bit different time when it happens. I actually like it to be sunny a little earlier in the morning. But one of the things most people do not know is that we've been waiting, or if you've been watching Intraday, we've been waiting for the market to actually close. in Europe before a lot of trading goes on. It's been kind of whistling past the graveyard every day, and at that time, it's been about around 11:30. The European markets close. Everybody has another sigh of relief, and we're actually able to trade a little bit for the rest of the day. Europe's daylight saving time is slightly different than ours. It is the last Sunday of March, and in this case, the last Sunday is going to be the 24th of March, and that gives us another good 2 weeks of where these stocks are going to be closing in Europe an hour later until they come back on the 24th, or actually it's going to be on the 26th, and actually come back at about 11:30 Eastern time a day. So just notice that with daylight savings time, we're normally off a couple of weeks or up to a week at least between us and Europe, and that's probably going to make things a little funny here for the next 10 days, as normally that Europe market's closing is an hour later for the next, what is it going to be here, 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks. FOMC meeting is tomorrow, so you can expect a lighter volume into the end of today, which we are getting. What was that? Let me update it here just to make sure. 2.3 billion shares. So very, very light volume. It was very light right out of the gate this morning. It's going to be late and light today. Probably going to come in about 3 billion shares. Probably expecting it to be very light into the FOMC meeting tomorrow. So we'll watch for that, but probably on hold until the FOMC goes by. Everybody's trying to look in the tea leaves for very, very light changes in the statement they have tomorrow. I just don't think it's going to matter, but I think everybody's just kind of waiting until that's out of the way. Expiration is this Friday, and I can't really see a lot of movement in this market lower. In fact, there's every chance that we could break out and maybe even have a false breakout before the end of this week. So keep an eye on that. Average gas prices, or gasoline prices in the United States, have gone higher than $3.80. I think this really makes a lot of difference to psychology. There was a pretty good, it was either an article I saw, maybe it was in the Wall Street Journal, that showed the mood and consumer sentiment and how it paralleled actually gas prices. And to a great extent, through 350, there was no change this time when gas prices went up, but it's catching up in a big hurry, so we might see a change in that consumer sentiment over the next few reports, now that it's starting to track and at least surveys by the Wall Street Journal. Some of the other people have brought it on and might take a little bit of the giddiness out of the market. The Fed stress test is out soon, and soon probably means something like Thursday, Friday. They may bury it into the weekend, but it's the continuation of the Volcker rule and a lot of the Dodd-Frank laws actually being put into place, but probably going to see those in the next few days. I think we've seen a lot of fundraising by these banks to actually get up there good, but it's kind of hard to see anything that's going to change here by this week. After the bell tonight, Urban Outfitters, symbol is URBN. I didn't see it earlier, so it may have come out. Vista Gold, VGZ, and also may be out, but I didn't see any news on it. Silver Standard Resources, SSO, on the Toronto, that's a .TO or .TSV, depending on which system you use. I think it also trades in the United States. Last week, after the Apple iPads, the new iPad rolled out on Friday's show with Tom O'Brien. We talked a little bit about why it's called the new iPad. That is that they're in some fairly big lawsuits about how they got the rights to the iPad name from a company in China, how they basically just lied. Apparently, court documents show that they lied about who owned or who was going to own the trademark for the iPad, and probably why it's just being called the new iPad at the moment instead of the iPad HD or iPad 3 or anything else that would make some kind of sense. It looks like they're probably going to want to try to settle that lawsuit before they put a name on it and actually ship the units. But it'll be interesting to see how that comes out. Anyway, during the presentation of the new iPad, I'm calling it the iPad HD because of the higher display, NVIDIA is crying foul over Apple's claim that the new processor outperforms the Tegra by 4 times. When you actually look at the data, NVIDIA probably wouldn't have said something if this wasn't so overstated. But it looks like Apple's new A5X processor, which is really based on the ARM technology, is probably maybe about twice as fast as the Tegra 3 chipsets from the previous incarnations of the iPad. It seems like Apple's got an economy of the truth lately, not only with telling the truth about who's going to end up owning the rights to the iPad name, but also whether or not their new processor is as fast as they state. A lot of times it's not the figures that lie, but liars that configure. And since day one in the computer industry, it's been one of those things where people have kind of over-exaggerated, or they've written tests to really show off exactly what their particular processor can do and say that it's 4 times faster. The truth is probably somewhere in between, so it's nothing new to have someone talk about new core figures on processors, but a lot of what needs to be done on this quad-core processor is software written expressly to take care of this ASX processor, and the operating systems for tablets and phones are not as expansive and extensive as we see in desktop units. So there are claims that the processor's faster, yeah, but can you actually use it? Probably like getting a hot rod but putting bicycle tires on it. All you're going to do is blow the tires. There has to be a lot of work to make sure that that particular technology works well, but it takes a long time to get that kind of software actually rolling and out the door. For the iPad, I had a few questions and emails, and again, you can email me at path@tfnn.com. Had a few questions. One was if I wanted to play any of the moves on the iPad sales, what would we get? Probably the biggest benefactor from the breakout on iPad components is Qualcomm, Triquint Semiconductor. Corning looks like they're going to be doing Gorilla Glass for it, and Nuance, which makes Siri. We talked a little bit about that on Friday on Tom's show too. We'll kind of wrap that up when we come back and get into some other stocks.
Here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective and maximize your returns. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of The Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com, author of Mastering Probabilities, a daily investment and trading newsletter, and teacher of the money game. Studies show that 3 out of 5 people are afraid for their life in trading these markets, and the number one reason given is fear of loss. Look, fear stands for false evidence appearing real, and the money game proves it. Lesson number 1, don't risk more than 1% of your trading capital on any trade. Why, you ask? Because 35 trades in a row where you risk 50 cents and make $1 are all you need to double your trading capital, versus the 230 losing trades in a row you would need to bring your balance to $100. Let me teach you more about the money game risk-free for 30 days. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, for your 30-day risk-free trial. You were born to be a money master, and I'll teach you how.
Would you like to discover the next great tech stock? David White, TFNN's technology guru, has just launched his new newsletter, The Technology Insider. In his newsletter, David will be looking for those shining stars that may turn into the next Apple, Microsoft, or Cisco. David combines his technology background as a software programmer with his market skills as a successful professional trader to give you this unique newsletter. We're on the verge of the next great tech run. With the Technology Insider, you'll be in front of the run-up and not lagging behind. David is developing a long-term investment portfolio. Therefore, we're only offering the Technology Insider as an annual subscription with a remarkable price of only $395. That's right, for a little over $1 a day, you'll receive the fundamental technology wisdom and technical trading skills of the Technology Insider, David White. What are you waiting for? Go to the front of TFNN.com, click on the link on the front page, sign up for your 2-week free trial, and become a Technology Insider today.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As always, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. We can discuss your particular stock. Just wanted to bring up, we are extending the Tiger Dollars one more day, I think, because they forgot to take it off over the weekend. So if you get in a good hurry tonight and get in on Tiger Dollars, this is going to be the last evening for that. So make sure to go to the front page of TFNN.com, and you can always get my newsletter or newsletters, both the Tech Insider and the Path of Least Resistance, my daily newsletter, at a severely discounted price. The easiest way to make some guaranteed coin today. Go to the front page of TFNN.com, go to newsletters. Check my newsletters out, get a free 2-week trial, but at the same time, you can get a severely discounted rate by buying Tiger Dollars and using them right away. So keep an eye on that. Anyway, what did I want to get to? Oh, we were talking about iPad. Corning does look like they're confirming that they will be using Gorilla Glass on the iPad HD. Nuance Communications, we talked a little bit about. They make the Siri product, and it looks like it's not going to come standard on the tablet, and it's going to be a product sold through the store, but there isn't confirmation on that. But my guess is Nuance will make a lot more money than licensing it through Apple. but it's still unclear whether that's going to happen or not. My belief is that we know that, and if you caught the Tech Insider part of Tom's show on Friday, the profit margin on the new HD is going to go from 57% to about 51 or 50% on the new HD tablet. So it looks like maybe they may be doing some things like not including Siri on the tablet to keep costs from going any higher and dropping below that 50% profit margin. So just keep an eye on it. It could have a nice bounce or a pullback that you could buy it. Siri's still one of the most attractive parts of having a Apple iPhone 4S, but keep a call on it. I think Qualcomm's actually one of the better plays out here, but the amount of money we're going to make on that is probably negligible. They're so large already. John Carter is a movie based on a book that came out, 120 years ago? Is that right? Something like that. One of the, was it Jules Verne? I think it was Jules Verne books. John Carter on the Mars or on the moon. But it's looks like it's going to be a horrible disaster for Disney. $350 million to make. I think they did a little under $40 million. That's a good indication. You can kind of predict what a film's going to make, even with worldwide rights. The chances that it will make its money back are almost nil. And Disney's already talking about making a write-down of $165 million. Some people are saying that's a great time to actually buy Disney. I would suggest that you probably wait a little bit before thinking that Disney's, it's time to jump in on Disney. But normally when you get a big stinker like this, several of them in Hollywood tend to follow. So I wouldn't get too excited about that one right now. One of the things that we've been seeing in the marketplace is a pattern that originally I've read some of Gann's writings. He pretty much ran around with Wyckoff and Jesse Livermore and a lot of the other big guys of Wall Street that ran the show from about 1910 to 1935, 1940. W.D. Gann had a thing which was called the Square of Nines, and it was kind of a square root tool. But what it really, and this chart unfortunately I have doesn't really show it well, is he saw a phenomenon that appeared over and over again, and we'll get into how my power law charts get into this, but he saw that kind of a slow and steady approach kept the market moving up for long periods of time with only shallow retracements. And when you look at his original work, it's not so much parabolic as the stocks he loved to have in a nice narrow range going up and up and up. But just how long those kind of bull rallies could last when they didn't try to reach for the moon right off the bat. We've had a market that's moved up. We've had some small pullbacks, but pretty much it goes under this slow but steady move up. I still think that until we get some kind of spike out of this marketplace that scares the last of all the shorts out of it, we're probably going to still be moving a little bit higher. I think we could get 1,400, 1,425 maybe, and maybe that's 1,425 is all within a day and it closes back below 1,400. We're just going to have to wait and hang out.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report, with over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar. The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. If you want to get great trade setups in equity as well as the option market, come over to TFNN.com and test drive my daily newsletter, Market Insights, for 2 weeks absolutely free. Each trade setup comes with a profit projection as well as stop placement. Included in Market Insights is a Twitter alert service. This allows you to take advantage of intraday setups. Volatility is back in the markets. What does that mean to you? To me, it spells short-term opportunity each and every day. The days of trending up on lighter volume are gone. We have come off the highs with volume across the globe. Don't get caught in a complacency trap. Many of the indices have given back 2 months of trading in 1 week. We have a trader's market. You can take advantage of this trader's market by test driving my daily newsletter, Market Insights, free for 2 weeks. Market Insights will give you the edge you're looking for in the markets. Go to TFNN.com, under newsletter, hit the Market Insight tab for your 2-week free test drive right here, right now.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes that a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Certified Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
This segment is brought to you by Direction Shares. To learn more about tactical tools for the sophisticated active investor, hit the Direction Shares banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we come back, I'm going to wrap up the news here and we'll get into stocks. Just one last thing I wanted to recommend everybody that has an interest in space to go over and take a look at a video on YouTube. It is I'll actually post the link in the den, but if you want it, you can always email me at path@tfnn.com and I'll send you the link. But Neil deGrasse Tyson, I'm sure if you've perused at any time across the PBS channels, he's kind of the go-to guy now for space and technology and physics and science. Pretty much the spokesman for that that vein. He's got a wonderful 5-minute video, and it's called "Why We Stopped Dreaming." It is for someone like me that always enjoyed science, kind of really tough to see how much we've gutted NASA. Living here in Florida, they call the area around the Space Center now the Ghost Coast instead of the Space Coast because so many people have been fired. The closing down of the shuttle program, the gutting of just about every new program has left NASA pretty much without a mission. And, you know, it's kind of strange to think that we spent less on the bailout of the banks than we did in 65 years of supporting NASA. Actually, I think it's about $670 billion over 65 years, or about $10 billion a year, about half a penny a person. And it's quite compelling. It's just hard for me to actually see how can I say that, a time when we as a nation just don't look at doing any kind of research. We've thrown about $45 billion away in the last 2 years on solar panels that were not cost effective. I always just think what we could have done as a nation if we would have done and spent that $45 billion on just core research that the private sector could come out. There's the guy that used to be if you're watching on Tiger TV, the Cosmos. I grew up watching Cosmos, and it was kind of, you know, a real inspiration to me. But I think it's it's a moving 5-minute video, and it kind of touched me. Anyway, we're going to get on to some charts here. First one I wanted to look at is a Crombie and Fitch. It looked like it's pretty much hit these highs. Let's see, A and F is the symbol up here, and it's. Let me get back up here. It just got slaughtered from the October 28th high, $77.49. It's been doing a fairly long consolidation, but that consolidation's been on a gap. That gap started on November 16th, came down on monstrous volume, 22,500,000 shares approximately. We've tested it twice. The first time that gap was December 5th, 2.6 million shares, or 10% of it. We're coming right back into Crombie and Fitch. A and F is the symbol. What do we get? Well, we're going to get about the same, something like 2 million shares. But again, bouncing back up. One thing we do not have is a test of this big low. That low is that February 3rd low of $40.25, 17 million shares. It just has not come back and tested that. And anybody that's listened to TFNN long enough and understands basic Wyckoff terminology, high volume lows are one thing that you have to be extremely careful about. Within 6 months, those high volume lows get tested at almost about a little over 75, 80% of the time. It is so overwhelming. It is one of the few things that you have to watch out for. A Crombie and Fitch still would probably have to come back and touch it. That low at $40.25, and it's kind of hard to know exactly what day it's going to do it, but pretty good opportunity to believe that this thing is one more time going to come down to $40 out there. Another one that caught my eye was Citigroup. Banks have been rolling here. We've gotten up to these highs. The one I want to look at is the October 27th high on Citigroup. Symbol is C. For the home gamers, $34.40, 100 million shares that day, and we got above it. Looks like we're going to close back below it again. The March 9th high, $34, was that 89 cents? Basically on half the volume. 54 million shares compared to 100 million shares. A lot of these banks had some fairly decent runs and kind of a nice short covering rally. What I would like you to do, though, is go to the last huge high volume day, which was January 17th with 116 million shares, and just draw a line down all the way to the volumes we're having now as we reach that previous swing point. Pretty good indication that these things have pretty much come to top out. I'm not predicting the end of the world in the banking community, but certainly if you look at that chart, not a real appealing chart. And if you're in it, probably time to take some cash and ring the bell. One of the other ones I wanted to see out here was also Costco. COST is the symbol. The December 2nd high out here, $88.68. We've gone above it, haven't closed below it. We're going to get in here with pretty much about half the volume here with these Costcos. So I'm seeing some retailers and some weakness in those retailers. The energy coming up was not all that bad. So I'm not predicting a huge pullback, but we can still see a lot of sector rotation in the marketplace when we see some of these stocks. Another one that's come up on my radar today is Diamond Offshore Drilling. Symbol is DO on that. And not only do we have a gap, but we have a previous high from October 27th, $70.16. 41 million shares. When we look at that, 2.6 million shares, 1.1. The last huge monstrous volume day did come up and test that. When we look at that Diamond Offshore Drilling, there's still an open gap also at that level that goes back to, June 20th of last year. Gap was also, what did it come down on that day? Almost 5 million shares, 4.9 million shares. So, we're testing a previous gap, 4.9. We've got 4.1 million shares on October 27th, and we've come into that with about 2.6 million shares and pulling back the other side of that today. Pretty good indication that you've hit these highs, and probably going to get just about everything out. If a stock can't take out the bottom, it's going to go try to take out the top. If it can't go take out the top, it certainly would go back and try to take out the bottom. There's a nice little gap up that's unfilled at around $64 on Diamond Offshore, so we could keep an eye on that. Other things out here that have caught my eye is GFI. There's a nice gap. It may have just a little bit farther to go. But on a absolute volume level, the October 4th low at $14.29, 8 million shares, is getting very close to being tested. And we might, that may be awful close to everything you're going to get. 3.3 million shares yesterday, going to come in probably 2.5 or less today. But that's how kind of long-term consolidations are set up. We have a gap up. That gap actually gapped up on 4.5 million shares on, May 28th, and has set the floor for this stock for a long time. Goldfields Limited is GFI, of course, big gold producer out there. Could get back into this gap, but at least we're watching this October 4th low, $14.29, 8 million shares being tested and coming into that same candle on half the volume. So you have to be thinking maybe there's a move in other gold stocks. I've seen and talked about, ABX? Was that it last week? Barrick Gold also making at least some short-term lows on lighter volume. We saw this where we're starting to see these big volume bars and big price bars that happened early on. In Barrick Gold ABX, it was the huge candle of the 25th of January. The volume was good, but not all that good. But you came in with that volume bar at about 13 million shares, tested it with 10 million on February 16th. We've been kind of bouncing around this floor, making a couple dojis now with 7.8 million shares, 5.9 million shares, 5.5, 7.5, and probably going to come in very light volume doji. That doji is probably either the bottom of this move or a halfway point in between. So you'd have to look at a, $50 to $45. So if you double that out there, somewhere around the $40 range, if this thing was to fall apart. But so far that, you could maybe get a couple more tests down in the 43, 42 range. But right now, looking at fairly decent support. 2 dojis in Barrett Gold. And when we put that together and start putting other charts together in the same sector, like GFI, you have to start wondering, is this the point where it breaks in half? Or is this the point where gold stocks actually come back in favor yet again? Another one that has caught my eye is a company called NetEase, NTES. Let's see what we have here. A previous high, and that came on February 28th, $53.96. Tested that on Friday with 800,000 shares, just a hair less. Tried to go above that, and again today we're going to be doing a whole lot less. 550,000 on NetEase. A nice big open gap on very little, if any, volume. Takes you right back down to $49 on this one. So keep an eye on NetEase, NTES. Let's see what else we have in here. Pulte Group. Been watching these pretty much top out here lately in the real estate market. Some of these home builders. Symbol is PHM. As we look at these tops, pretty nice double top forming in Pulte Group, PHM, and that is February 15th high, $9.31, 22 million shares. Got into that with 15 million shares on Friday. We're going to be having about 7.5 million shares by the end of the day today, which gives you an idea of how you hang out at these highs, even with less volume, and one day they kind of just end up popping out. Panera, another one that looks been a huge high flyer for a while. Looks like this one's another one that's kind of topping out. I'm thinking more sector rotation on an options expiration week, and maybe more a lock back into some price. But Panera Bread, PNRA, is another great stock to be watching. And again, there's plenty of time left in the show today. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648, and we'll discuss your stocks. I know everybody probably likes to look at stocks at decision points, like we do most every day on the Power Trading Hour. But we're watching the Panera Bread, February 7th high, $160.88, 1.6 million shares. Gaps down off that on huge volume of about 3.5 million shares. That really stands out. You moved back up to test this high. Last 2 days, 400,000 shares on Friday. Going to be about 550 today on Panera Bread. But we're going to be watching that close very closely on Panera, PNRA, the wonderful bread company. But it looks like we're going to be coming in with somewhere around, a third of the volume. And this thing actually looking like it's giving a decent sell signal. I don't know about shorting it. This has become almost one of those cult stocks that just can't quit, but also showing very big signs of weakness in the marketplace. One more is Sanderson Farms. Never really knew much about this company, but another one to keep a very close eye on. What I dislike is the huge candle from Friday with a very light volume relative to a lot of the other days out there. Big blue candle. Sanderson's Farm is SAFM, and it is at resistance. It's making probably a little spinning top doji looking thing out here. Going to be very interesting. Again, if you want to bring something up before the end of the show, you can give me a ring, 877-927-6648. We've got a few more stocks to look at. In fact, we'll look at some Gartleys here when we come back.
In the world of financial markets, there's a new player in town with an exciting new way to trade the markets. Nadex now offers binary options as well as bull spreads in a wide range of indices along with commodity and forex markets. With as little as $100, you can gain access to a new way to trade global financial markets while guaranteeing that your risk will always be capped. Nadex allows you to multiply your trading opportunities in ways never imagined before and access markets you once thought were out of reach. With short-term trading opportunities available, including binary options expiring each hour the market is open, Nadex allows you to take advantage of a variety of market conditions regardless of volatility or market direction. Now is the time to take advantage of this exciting new market. Don't let this trading opportunity pass you by. Open your account today by clicking on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Nadex, a better way to trade.
TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we pay you more for converting your jewelry to cash.
Let's go to Brian in New Jersey. Hey, Brian, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, just want to let you know I did give you some jewelry. My jeweler offered me about $650. I should get a check in the mail tomorrow for about $1,200.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, it's all about honesty when converting your jewelry to cash.
Okay, let's go to Paul in Florida first. Hey, Paul, what's going on?
I want to commend you on the Tiger Metal Exchange. I just did a deal with you guys the other day.
Oh, good.
I'm very happy.
Well, I appreciate it. Now, Did you sell us jewelry or did you buy coins off us?
Yeah, I sold you jewelry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What we weighted that was less than you guys said, so, you're totally honest.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we give you the tools to value your gold, and it's absolutely free. Call 866-618-8888 or log on to TigerMetalExchange.com. We've created the easiest, safest, and most honest cash for gold process. Tiger Metal Exchange. It's the only call you need to make.
Put the power of the Chapman Wave methodology to work for you. No matter what market you trade, what time frame you trade in, or your trading style, the Opening Call, Basil Chapman's daily market newsletter, is bursting with the information and trades you need to become a more successful trader.
I've been using Basil Chapman's Chapman Wave methodology for several years now. His Chapman Wave can be used for any time period for not only equities, but futures, currencies, commodities. I've been also a subscriber of his Opening Call, which I find an invaluable tool to help me analyze the potential of the market each day. He gives you opportunities to go short and long. It includes recommendations on stocks. I strongly recommend people using the Chapman Wave, and I very, very strongly support the use of his Opening Call.
To find out more about Basil Chapman and his Chapman Wave methodology, and to get your 2-week free trial of the Opening Call, a $64 value, visit TFNN.com today.
Here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's just wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. Catch Tom O'Brien, founder and CEO of TFNN, professional trader and educator. Also a special guest on CNBC, analyzing the commodity markets. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And welcome back again. You've got a couple minutes here to call in, 877-927-6648. We're going to look at a couple of Gartley patterns here very closely. I know everybody that's gotten Tom's book probably interested in following Gartleys. They're very hard to find. And we show some off during the show. And actually, these would be the ones in the newsletter. Pretty much every morning I have something like 10 to 40 stocks of big interest that are giving decent signals. One of the ones I showed this morning was Canon. Symbol is CAJ. And a good example of almost a perfect Gartley setting up, although one that was a little bit more violent in the legs than most people are used to, but a good idea of looking at the pattern out here. Symbol is CAJ. You always start with the X point on a Gartley October 27th, $47.60. Your A point starts off at $41.70. Your B point ends up being January 3rd, $45.15. Your C point ends up being January 12th at $42.46. That gives you the projection, and the D target projection would be $46.34. We got to $46.25 on Friday. Pretty close to the projection for the Gartley pattern. Popped down, and looks like we're probably going to close out somewhere around just a little over $45 for this, and probably move on back down to the 43 levels on Canon. Of course, the big copier and camera company. Another one that's caught my eyes, a little bit bigger one, maybe a little bit more meat on the bone on this one, and that is EV Energy Partners, natural gas company. Looks like it's got just a little bit more to go to get the projection on EV Partners. Symbol is EVEP, and I see Steve Rhodes in the bullpen ready to come in here and do the 4 to 6 show for us tonight. He's warming his arm up there, really getting ready to do the relief pitching here for the last 2 innings on TFNN. Anyway, we look at EV Partners, going to look at the November 4th high, starting off our X point at $77.97, 96 cents. The A point becomes November 1st, or 21st actually, $62.64. We go up and make our B point at $70.81. We come back, and since it still didn't go below it, a valid C point of January 25th at $63.25. That gives us our projection of $74.68, which is what, just under $1 higher to finish out that one. So it hadn't quite done that. We've got 1 minute left, and again, if you want to see these charts in all their glory, you can look at Tiger TV, or you can always get my newsletter. Now this one's kind of a hyper-extended pattern, and it just, I guess, a parabolic move on the end. But the last one we want to look at is CACI, Khaki International, a very, very long developing pattern out here. And you can see that it pretty much popped over it for just a little bit over the D butterfly projection, has pulled back in, made a little hammer in this one. Probably don't have enough time to wrap this all up. I did want to remind you all that you still have a few hours left today to get some Tiger Bucks. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, or my long-term investing newsletter, you can always, the Tech Insider, you can always go to the front page of TFNN.com, buy some of those Tiger Bucks today, and then get my newsletters, or maybe somebody else's that's here. But I'd prefer if you got mine. Maybe I'm greedy that way. Anyway, we're going to have a great day and a safe day. And hang on, in about 8 minutes, we've got the Steve Rhodes Show.